Yeah, my accident, it was 2008, so the Canada Day long weekend of 2008. Dropped my stuff out of the hotel, went to the beach for about an hour, and then just decided to dive in because, you know, it's hot summer, and didn't dive shallow enough, and it's a sand bottom, so hit head first, and obviously I broke my neck, C6 and C7. My friends were there, and I was lucky enough that there's an off-duty lifeguard with her friends, and she kind of jumped in and told my friends what pretty much not to do and what to do. So that probably saved me from being any worse off or more damage to my neck. So I was very lucky that way. Sports were a huge part of my life. Grew up playing hockey mostly. Played goalie probably for most of my life. Started as obviously a forward and then switched to goalie. Played soccer in the summer. And then, you know, through school you'd play all the sports with your friends, play a bunch. My occupational therapist at the Foothills Hospital in Calgary, the documentary Murder Ball, it just came out a couple years before. So she's like, oh, with your background and with your level of injury, this is probably the sport you want to try. Obviously a team sport, the way the guys were they interviewed, it just reminded me a lot about hockey kind of thing. So yeah, there's just a lot of different aspects, and then obviously being so new to my injury and I still pretty much could only lay in bed. I'd have to get other people to do stuff for me, and just seeing that that was potentially what I could do. And outside of sports, like my life, I can drive on your own, you can drive on your own, you can do everything on your own. So at that point it was an eye-opener both ways in that sense. And my first time, it was just a demo. So Erica Schmutz, she used to be on Team Canada. She had just got back from Beijing and did a demo at my rehab hospital in Toronto here, the Lyndhurst, and all I really got to do was sit in a chair and, I mean, push in about a 10 square foot circle. So it wasn't very fast, but I crashed into, well, her and her everyday chair, going about a mile an hour. So it was pretty useless for people watching probably, but to me it felt like a pretty eye-opening experience. And you get that rush too where, you know, it's like, all right, I can do this. It's, yeah, finally happening after just watching movies and watched a bit of the Paralympics because I was in rehab. So yeah, it was a pretty big rush. So meeting people that have gone through a similar situation as you, it was huge, especially I got started right away, so I was still pretty not independent. So meeting them where they're doing everything fully independent, they drive themselves to the gym, all of that. So just learning from them, and obviously they're all a great group of people where they teach you the things, and they're not all about the sport right away. They're about just getting you out and having fun, and obviously teaching you about life in a wheelchair or as a quadriplegic. So Dave Wilsey, pretty much I met him my first tournament that I went to. We were in Brockville for the tournament, so he was coming in after I'd got there, and we were in a hotel room, just meeting players and, you know, being do what you do at tournaments. He's a fun guy. He likes to joke around, so he was welcoming right off the bat. Obviously, the first time I watched him, I was like, I'm never going to be that good. I can barely push up and down the court. I'm like the same classification as this guy. So that whole thing was eye-opening to see how fast the sport actually was and how fast they were. But he was good. He kind of told me and coached me pretty much along the way. And we were the same position, so he got me for the most part to where I was. And yeah, now he's our assistant coach with Team Canada after, what, five Paralympics, so not too many people can say that.